Welcome everybody to Pinfalls and Passports. My name is Daddy Dom, and for those who don't already know, this is a podcast for people just like you who love the sport of professional wrestling, and for members of our WWE Travel Community Discord to keep us entertained and engaged during the year leading up to WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. Now, every episode is filled with a variety of WWE and wrestling travel tips, all the latest news and rumors and recaps from the world of professional wrestling, and a cast of amazing characters that make our community over on the Discord so great. If you are not a member of our WWE Travel Community Discord, come and join one of the fastest growing pro wrestling communities online. You can find the Discord link on our podcast bio, and don't forget to follow us on WrestleMania Travel Discord page on Instagram at Mania Travel Discord. Now, today, I'm joined by my co-hosts, Mirah and Dorkchop. How's it going, guys?
Hello. I'm very excited for today.
Yeah, we got lots and lots to talk about. How you doing, Dorkchop?
Doing pretty good. Excited to get into everything.
Awesome. So, a few things we want to go through today. We're going to do a quick recap on Raw and discuss some of the potential implications of what came out of that episode. We did get an interesting email, some of us yesterday, from OnLocation, who have now released their fantastic price list if you want to go VIP to WrestleMania 42, and that has certainly caused some controversy over in the Discord. And we've got a big weekend in London coming up. I will be thankful for being in attendance. Forbidden Door AEW pay-per-view is happening at the O2 in London, and we are going to talk through last night's Dynamite and also give our predictions for Forbidden Door and who do we think is going to come out on top in London. So, let's get started with the big news. I think some of us were expecting it, but Naomi is pregnant. What does everyone think?
It's bittersweet. It's a long time coming for her and Jimmy. So it's like, yes, like it finally happened. It's just like it was at like the peak of where she was at as like a heel, and even during her promo, she was still in character, and it's just like you couldn't help but smile and just be happy for her because you're like, you know what, she's doing what she wants to do. She'll be back. I'm very happy that she's happy, and I just hope that she has a happy and healthy pregnancy. That's really it on my end. I love Naomi. I love Trinity. I love the Usos. I love Jimmy. So I know they're going to be great parents. I'm just happy for them.
So I'm also in the bittersweet category here. And like, on the one hand, very, very happy for them. They've been trying for years to have a kid, and congratulations to them. But also I'm sad because this is the best Naomi we've ever got. She is killing it in this new heel character. And she was on the run of her career, and she had finally hit the mountaintop, and to have it end after only a month is kind of sad. But I know, come 2027 Royal Rumble, she's going to be back and taking names and ready to come get all the heifers.
Yeah, 100%. And I really like the way that they did this, because obviously they started it off with the announcement on Stephanie McMahon's podcast, which was kind of all very sort of shoot style. They're using the real names and all that, and you're kind of thinking, they're gonna go with that, and it's all gonna be happy. And of course, everyone is happy. Everyone's happy for Naomi, but then she just turns the key, bang on on poor Adam Pearce, full on heel, kicking him out of the ring and laying the groundwork down for the heifers, that when she's back, she's going to be back to claim her title. I absolutely love that. She was laughing through that. The crowd, obviously they were happy because, she was pregnant. And sometimes, no matter how bad things bad guys do, you just love it so much that you just can't help but laugh along. I think, the crowd was super happy, but I did love that bit. And I really enjoyed how they sort of left it, because quite often, whether it's it's a pregnancy or it's an injury to a wrestler, it is true, quite often they come back, don't they, to after a long layoff, and they kind of have to sort of start and work their way sort of back up again. They never know if they're going to get shot straight up to the roster. Well, I really think she sort of laid the groundwork there for that, for when and if that return sort of does happen. She's left her character in such a great place that she's just going to get such a huge pop when she finally does return, and hopefully won't have to go to the back of that queue, because you're right, Dorkchop, this is the best Naomi that we've certainly ever seen. But what does this mean for the women's championship? And are we going to see a new champion crown perhaps in Paris in a couple of weeks? What do we think?
I feel like we definitely are going to see a new champion. I just don't know who it will be. I think the plan was to have Naomi beat Stephanie ultimately, so that she would have like a longer reign. But again, like, who knows how that could have honestly happened. I feel like right now we're just in a limbo. We're like 10 days away from Clash in Paris. So I'm assuming on the Monday or sometime over the weekend, there will be some sort of announcement about how they're going to go about it. They could be doing NXT call-ups. They could do some type of eliminator challenge. They could do some type of draft that's not really an official draft and do some type of eliminator. That's what I'm really thinking. Or some type of battle royale to where it'll be Stephanie and whoever. So I'm really hoping it is a good match. I know a lot of people think it'll be Io, could be Rhea, could be Lyra even. So I don't know. I think the international crowd would love any three of those women in a match. So I feel like they have some options to go off of. So I'm excited for Clash in Paris. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just like, we'll see next week.
Yeah, I think obviously Stephanie is going to get her title match in Paris. Who it's against, shrug. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, the safe option here is obviously to go with either Rhea or Io. How we get to that, could be an 8-woman tournament, 2 fatal 4-ways in the same night, and then the winners face each other. Could be a battle royal, could be a gauntlet match. Either way, I look for one of those things to happen on Raw this Monday. Short build, obviously, but sometimes the best things come out of a short build. I mean, look at what we got with Evolution. That was an amazing show. And they threw that together in like 2 weeks. So,
well, let's hope so, for sure. I do think WWE's been a bit 50-50 when it comes to kind of rush jobs recently. Let's hope they don't fumble the ball with this one. Yes, Stephanie, I'm sure they had sort of plans down the line to put that title on her, but is now the right time? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's certainly going to be very interesting to see what they do in the next couple of shows leading up to Clash, and let's hope those fans in Paris get a treat and a new champion crown in the right way. Well, what else do we get this week on Raw, Mirah?
So we got, the ending was Roman and Bronson. That's something that's been recently confirmed. They will be facing in Clash in Paris, so that'll be fun. Hopefully Roman gets his 2 pairs of shoes back, but I don't really know if it'll happen though. And then you have the story of Io and Rhea and the Kabuki Warriors. So we've seen a lot of that on Monday as well. And then Jay got his lick back from Braun Breaker, because the last time they were in Philly, Jay lost the IC title. So that was kind of interesting to see. But honestly, Raw was entertaining. I feel like a lot of people were just waiting for what was this announcement with the women's title. I feel like that's what Raw was. Like, what is happening? Is it true? Is she really pregnant? Is it an injury? Like, I feel like that's what we were waiting on the whole show, and we got it, and we were like, okay, next.
Yeah, I felt like they were going to make us wait till all the way to the end, like have all the main event matches happen and then have Naomi come out. But having it go with like next to last and then saving Jay versus Braun for the last match was a pretty gutsy call. As far as Roman and Bronson in Clash, I don't think the Shula Fala is going anywhere. I think we're going to get more Shunamis than Shula Fala reclamations. I was disappointed I didn't get to see Demonito terrorize Mr. Iguana again and La Yesca. I mean, anytime you can get Mr. Iguana on my screen, that's a W in my book. I mean, he's just hilarious. And the Rhea Io and Kabuki Warriors saga continues. I mean, obviously we're getting a Kabuki Warriors heel turn on on Io with Rhea making the save, and they're going to eventually, that's going to probably propel either one of those teams into the tag team title conversation.
Yeah, 100%. And you mentioned, of course, our iguana friend over there. Obviously, we saw Vikingo on the show briefly as well. And of course, the announcement now officially of Worlds Collide, the second Worlds Collide that they've done since the merger with AAA. And looks like we're going to get that rematch, but in a singles format. Dirty Dom against Vikingo. I know it's a few weeks away, but do we think that Dom's going to get that strap?
I feel like there's going to be more shenanigans, in my opinion. I think there might be more shenanigans, but like I really do believe there's going to be something else that happens. But it could just be they want 2 belts Dom really bad because they really want to take the belt off of Vikingo because they really don't mess with him over there, which is crazy to me. But he's talented as hell, but I know it was like he was pushed in front of that audience's faces after Del Rio was basically like pushed out of the whole company. I really don't know. I could see some type of heel turn happening, possibly with Jungle. I don't know. I'm just like, he could take the title. He could. It's very much possible. Or it could just be like an ongoing story, but we shall see. We shall see.
I think that Dom being the AAA Mega Champion is as inevitable as Thanos. I'm sorry, it's happening. And, I mean, Vikingo is deeply unpopular in the AAA crowd. I mean, you heard the reactions for him and during the Fatal 4-Way. I don't see them keeping the belt on him past Worlds Collide. And as far as Dom being a double champ, I don't see that happening either. I think he's going to drop it to AJ, and then like that's going to lead him to kind of just focus primarily on AAA because he is over like Rover in AAA.
Yeah, they certainly do love a bit of themselves some Dom Mysterio over in AAA. That is absolutely for sure. It'd be very interesting to see then what happens there. I don't know how they play that. Is it? I know AAA doesn't have sort of regular. So I know it has shows, but it doesn't have sort of like regular weekly scheduled television, does it? I know, but I think was this a third Triple Mania they'd done this year? So they do like, it's not like they do. I know it's their WrestleMania, but they don't do it just sort of once a year, do they? So maybe they're not seeing that sort of too much of a problem. And I suppose maybe they are testing it out for something. They've seen the success of how many views that show got online, and maybe they could, if they wanted to, I suppose, bring in some weekly sort of scheduling program of AAA in. Who knows what WWE have planned.
Now that you mentioned that, I could see that happening. All of these networks they have, it could definitely be a possibility. I think, what was it yesterday? We were all in this Herbert discussing like, well, if everything is everywhere, especially in the United States, like you got Netflix, Peacock, Tubi, you just got all these apps you have to keep up with. And then
now
after
ESPN.
Yeah, like with the ESPN being announced, I could foresee on Peacock it being a AAA weekly show in the States, and obviously internationally it'll be on Netflix more than likely, or even YouTube. But I think that might be the route they're trying to go down.
Well, they're certainly trying some stuff out, a lot of stuff out with YouTube, aren't they, recently? And there's money to be made on YouTube, and I think they had a lot of views. I think there was 250,000 live streams on the WWE site for Triple Mania, but obviously the AAA on their Spanish broadcast on YouTube got something ridiculous, like 5 million views or something. So there's money to be made on YouTube, and maybe they just think, hell, we'll keep some of these shows on YouTube because we can monetize it on there pretty well. I don't know how many ads were sort of on there, but they're definitely trialing some stuff with YouTube. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing the WWE Vault sort of pretty much ending up over on YouTube at some point. You know, a lot of that sort of old network stuff that kind of doesn't really exist anymore. It's just really, really hard to find on Peacock, and it's certainly not on Netflix for us international fans, you know, like we kind of hoped it was going to be. So we kind of have no replacement over here, kind of in where the network, they got some of the old pay-per-views, don't get me wrong, you got to be WrestleMania and the Rumbles and all that kind of thing, but we haven't got, like, if you want to go back and watch some a lot of the old sort of WCW stuff or anything like that, you got absolutely no hope in hell. So interesting to see how they sort of utilize YouTube. They're definitely using it a lot more. We'll see what happens next. Other WWE news is OnLocation, who we spoke about on our last episode, or you guys did at least, regarding WrestleMania ticket prices. If you haven't listened to that episode around how to sort of plan and book your WrestleMania tickets, we recommend you go back and take a listen to our previous episode. We won't go into that in some depth. But OnLocation, the VIP way to go and watch WWE, WrestleMania, WWE PLEs, they've released their price list, and goodness me, if this is a indicator of how much the general admission prices are for WrestleMania next year, I am crapping my pants. What about you guys? We see the list. It's almost double, right, for most packages. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, they don't even have the gold package anymore.
No.
It just seems like they skipped that. They have the suite by seat, which is something I think they added. WrestleMania 40 silver. There's no gold, and it goes right to champion. And champion ranges from $4,000 to $20,000, and I think that's insane.
Because like the $4,000 packages, right? They're still just getting you seats in the 300 or 400s, right? Is that right?
Well, it shouldn't be. I feel like that would be more silver.
Or is that a bit less than that?
Yeah, I thought that since the champion range is so wide at this point, that it should be more lower bowl risers and then the floor. That's my assumption. Because I know a lot of times you can't really pick the seat with OnLocation. You can only pick your actual section where you're sitting at.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a big jump. Also just heard today that the front row seats, if you want front row for WrestleMania 42, I think it was per something on Reddit that it was $70,000. So, I mean, I think last year was 50, so or 55, so now it's 70. It is accurate. Me personally, I will not be getting an OnLocation package. I know people are looking into it. Do your research, do your homework. But me personally, if I am going to Vegas for WrestleMania 42, I will be buying the week of. That's just has to go.
I will say one thing for the OnLocation packages. At least they've included the 5-day VIP pass for WWE World this year, which I know peeved quite a few people. Just giving the 3-day on the OnLocation last year, which was very annoying if you wanted to go on a day when a superstar you wanted to meet was there, because you then had to on top buy another day ticket, which was absolutely ridiculous. But it does seem that they're including the 5-day pass. How very, very generous of them to include that when you're spending $15,000 with them. So
I can think of better uses of $70,000 and then the front row seat. I mean, I could buy a fixer-upper in downtown Baltimore for that much.
And one other little bit of small text that I noticed on the OnLocation packages is WWE VIP World tickets, which were available to the public generally to buy last year. So if you wanted a 5-day VIP pass, which I think was about $1,000, something.
Mm-hmm. It was about $1,100 after
about $1,100. Yeah, add fees.
Mm-hmm.
That is, it's stated now only purchasable via OnLocation. Now, I don't know what that means. Does that mean that you're just going to purchase it directly from OnLocation? You can just buy the VIP World Pass, or does that mean that you have to buy an OnLocation package if you want a VIP WWE World Pass? And I know that is going to cause a bit of disappointment for a few people that bought the VIP last year and didn't plan and don't plan on buying an on-location package for sure. Be interesting to see what exactly that means, because they didn't sort of go into detail. It just kind of said it'll only be available through on-location. So we'll keep you guys informed the more that we hear regarding those VIP WWE World packages and whether you have to have an on-location package to get one. But yeah, overall, on-location looking very, very expensive. I would say they do seem to have added in a couple of extra things. Some of the meet and greets look quite cool, especially if you're going for the really high-level packages. But overall, it's pretty much the same thing and approximately double the prices of last year. So yeah. And they're not taking deposits anymore. So I presume they've gathered enough interest. So we will see what happens moving forward there. Any more thoughts on location before we move on to AEW Dynamite and our Forbidden Door predictions?
Yes, I'm going to reach out to my agent. I'm sorry, Dork, but I am going to reach out to my agent from last year for any like clarification on that, because I feel like that makes zero sense, because it's going to be through the Fanatics site. And they're probably still going to sell those VIP world packages. Now, it may be a smaller amount, but I'm going to see if she's able to answer it for us.
Yeah, great. Fantastic. Thank you, Mirah. Yeah, go and see if you can get some answers on here. Yeah, I am just reading it here. It says on the champion package bit, WWE World VIP tickets only available through on-location. So yeah, we will see what that means. Hopefully we can get some clarification for you guys. So Dynamite Wednesday from Glasgow. Hell of a crowd there at the Hydro. Looked pretty full for me. I'm sure AEW love the opportunity to record a Dynamite in a nice looking, very busy and excitable arena. What do we think of Dynamite, the go home show for Forbidden Door?
It was exciting. The crowd was there. I think the number, so their setup was for over 8,000, just like shy, like over 8,000, and they had 7,705 people in there. So it was almost basically a sellout for them. The crowd was amazing. I think it really did pump up a lot of people who are already excited for this weekend. I enjoyed the show last night a lot. That tag match with Brody and Bandino and FTR, chef's kiss. That was chef's kiss for me. That was chef's kiss.
Yeah. And if you if anyone that didn't watch the show, and also close your ears now if you don't want to hear any spoilers, but that match was to get the shot against the tag champions, the Hurt Syndicate, at Forbidden Door. So the winner of that match was going to go through the final, and it went to a 30-minute time limit draw, which of course in typical AEW fashion, within about 15 seconds, Tony Khan was on the earpiece saying that now the tag team championship match will be a three-way between the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, FTR, and Brody King and Bandido. So let's start with that match. Who are we thinking for the tag match? Have we got any thoughts on who's leaving London with those tag championships?
I would love for it to be Brody and Bandino, but with FTR capturing the championships, there's more of a longer story there.
Yeah.
And in another match, we'll see how it crosses paths, but no, I think it'll be FTR. What about you?
Yeah, I got a similar feeling. I think the fact that we've now got sort of three teams sort of involved with this leans me now towards this being a title change that doesn't particularly hurt the excuse the pun, hurt the Hurt Syndicate that much. So yeah, I can see this being one of what I think might be limited title changes here at Forbidden Door. I don't see an awful lot sort of changing hands. So yeah, FTR are leaving London with those belts, in my opinion. Dorkchop, what about yourself? What do you think?
All right, I'm going to preface my statements by saying last night was the first time I'd watched AEW Dynamite in a long time. That match was a banger. I loved every second of it. At first, I was like, "Bro, Dito, what?" But it was a fun match to watch, and it left me, kind of excited for the World Tag Team Championship match. I think a triple threat is a great way to get a belt from one babyface team to another. So I'm thinking that Bro Dito is going to pull off the upset, and I think FTR is going to eat the pin. Then
Yeah.
again, take my predictions with a grain of salt. I've come in last on most of the pools.
Well, yeah, if you haven't watched a lot of AEW recently, so you quite often with AEW, it's a shot in the dark with his predictions. So I have a friend actually that always participates in our little predictions competition, and she doesn't watch AEW at all, and nearly always wins. So maybe you're in with a shot this time, Dorkchop. Now there was some more chaos ensuing on Dynamite that involved a lot of the members of the lights out steel cage match. As if there were not enough people involved in this match already, AEW managed to seem to bring some more people into the fold that I now feel could potentially get involved in what is already going to be an absolutely chaotic match. This lights out, non-sanctioned steel cage match, but that's why they have to put the lights out, because have to turn. There will be no energy allowed to be paid for during a non-sanctioned match, so all the lights will go out. But we started with the brawling in the ring. We had Darby Allin revealed in a body bag attacking Jon Moxley. We had the Death Riders. We had the Bucks out there. We had a load of people involved in there. Oh, obviously Will Ospreay, bruv, involved there. And then we had Dan Maloney, who from New Japan, very popular wrestler in the UK as well. So I will not be surprised if we see sort of him turn up. A couple of his other stablemates over from New Japan. Lots of people sort of getting involved. This is going to be chaos, right? This is going to be absolutely insane. What are our thoughts on this lights out steel cage match?
The healthiest member on the good guys team is Darby Allin.
Oh,
And that dude is insane.
I know.
yeah.
And like they announced Tanahashi for this match. Now, for those that are not keeping up with New Japan or not sure who Tanahashi is currently doing his John Cena farewell tour, basically. It's his final year in wrestling. But I've got to be honest, he is not quite looking as chip-chop shape as Mr. John Cena. His knees are fucked. I am, of all the matches that I want to see Tanahashi in, perhaps at this Forbidden Door, I think a steel cage match of unsanctioned chaos like this is probably one of the last things I would have picked. I have very serious concerns for his knees if he decides to climb this steel cage at any point whatsoever. This is going to be fun. Don't get me wrong. I cannot wait for this. I'm going to be in that arena, and this is going to be incredible. But yeah, Tanahashi, Jesus, what a last match to have sort of in the UK. I'm guessing this will be his last match in the UK. But yeah, what a way to go out. I hope he gets to finish the rest of his farewell tour after this one. But yeah, so let's look at who we got. We got Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Darby Allin, and Tanahashi, and Will Ospreay versus the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli and Jon Moxley, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, and Gabe Kidd. Who we got, guys? We got the good guys going over, or we got the bad guys going over?
Dork, I'll let you take this. I'll let you take this one first.
So the segment last night was absolute chaos, as Dom described. I mean, when Darby hit that coffin drop, oh my God, I was okay. I'm in. I hope they bring this level of intensity on Sunday. I've been a fan of Kenny Omega off and on for years anyway. So I'm going to lean towards the good guys in this match. That, and I'm just not a fan of the Young Bucks. And you know, I know they're going to pull something crazy out because Darby Allin's involved in the match.
Yeah,
And
there's a lot of crazy people in this match. I mean,
chaos.
we know what Moxie's capable of. Gabe Kidd as well, you know, not to be underestimated. He's got a screw loose for sure.
Yep.
Omega, Darby Allin, and of course Will Ospreay, who we know is a crazy daredevil himself.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just because of Ospreay, I got to go with the good guys for this one as well. I think they're going to go over. I do think it's going to be chaos. I think there's going to be more people involved than just this. We're going to get outside interference on another level. I think it's going to be madness. But yeah, Ospreay and team good guys come out on top. And is Darby Allin going to do a coffin drop off the top of the cage or through the cage? Who knows? I fully expect it though.
Will plate glass be involved either?
Yeah.
I think this match, although it's chaotic, is going to help hide a lot of those injuries. So I think the good guys do win, but I think this match is going to help them more than anything because they do have a lot of injuries. Isn't Gabe Kidd also injured as well, if I'm not mistaken, or he has some sort of injury? Or he did have one recently?
He did. I'm sure he has been injured recently. I'm not sure how
Yeah.
what his fitness state is recently.
Yeah, so I think this match is just going to help hide some of those injuries. And I hope no one gets seriously hurt. I really hope that if the plan is for them to be out after this match, that they come back as soon as they possibly can. But yeah, I think the good guys will prevail here.
Yeah, you could be right there, Mary. You know, maybe the fact they've already teased sort of more sort of involvement from outside people means some of the less fit looking and feeling members of this match will get a little bit of a break. Now, Collision last week gave us a 4-way match where to decide the winner to face the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Zack Sabre Jr. And of course, as most of us would have expected, our very own Nigel McGuinness is the winner. I think we can know what to expect in this match. We've got two British heroes here fighting, so they're both going to get incredible welcomes and introductions. We're going to get a very technical match, right?
Yeah.
These are two of the best sort of technical wrestlers to do it in the last sort of 15 years. So it's going to be technical. We've got Nigel McGuinness with Daniel Garcia by his side. I have a funny feeling that might have something to do with the outcome of this match. But do we honestly see Nigel McGuinness taking that title from Zack Sabre Jr.?
No. That's Zack Sabre. Zack Sabre Jr. Like, I know that chant in my head. Every show I've ever been to there. Insane. No, he's not taking that belt unless something happens.
Yeah, but you know we're also gonna go, oh, Nigel McGuinness.
Yes.
Oh, so it's gonna be both sides.
It's gonna be
probably all
back and
thinking
forth.
the same thought. Maybe even just take it in turns and go around. We
Yeah.
love both those guys. Yeah, I mean, I have the most confidence in the result of this match. There is absolutely no way Nigel McGuinness is winning that WGP Heavyweight Championship, but I'm sure they'll make him look good in the meantime, and probably we'll see some kind of heel turn from Garcia that sets up something further down the line.
I think he needs a heel turn right now. I think after he lost the TNT Championship, it's kind of just like what to do. So I think he does have to have that at some point.
Yeah, and that sets up something we can see further down the line. And Nigel McGuinness, Danny Garcia match. I don't know how often Nigel McGuinness is able to wrestle. So maybe it won't be till perhaps Full Gear. Maybe it won't even be till All In next year. We will see. Any other thoughts on that, Dorkchop? Do you see that going any other way?
No, I mean, Zack Sabre is going to give us a technical masterpiece. Quite frankly, I'd be shocked if Nigel McGuinness won, just based on his, he's got Daniel Garcia in his corner, and that's an obvious heel turn waiting to happen.
Yeah, makes sense to me. Right. Next on the TNT Championship, the new TNT champion, the Aussie's own Kyle Fletcher, one of the hottest talents in AEW for me at the moment. Absolutely incredible, this guy. He is facing a legend, a Japanese legend in Hiromu Takahashi. How do we see this one playing out?
Fletcher's too hot. I mean, it's too early to take the belt off of him. And, you know, I mean, you'd be disappointed in the Fletch lights.
I wasn't expecting you to say that.
I did a little research.
You think I'll be able to sneak one into the O2 or? I am going with an Aussie, so yeah, I think Kyle Fletcher is going to have a very, very long reign with that TNT championship until they are ready to move him up to the highest of levels. There is no ceiling regarding that guy as far as I'm concerned. He has everything. He's got the wrestling ability. He's got the size. We've seen the matches that he put on with Ospreay. Absolutely incredible stuff. This guy has everything. There is no way he is losing that TNT championship for me for a long, long time.
Fletcher is honestly he's my pick that's like most improved of 2025. Like, I've seen him a couple times at 2300, and he's always been built, but his body recomp the last year and a half is insane. Like you said, his feud with Ospreay, insane. And it's just like ever since then he's had this confidence, this boost, this aura about him that is kind of untouched right now. I feel like he's one of those stars where you're like, oh no, he's going places. You just gotta give him some time. But I don't see him losing at all. He is, like I said, he's like my top pick, most improved on the mic, in the ring, his physique. Like, he's dedicated to this business right now. Like, this is his life.
100%. You know, I saw, I was a big fan of Aussie Open when he was in the tag team.
Yep.
And then to see them sort of rise. In fact, it was crazy. There was this show that they put on in Manchester. It's in the back of a pub, literally the back of a pub. And Dan Driller Maloney, who you saw on AEW, who's in New Japan now, it was kind of his show along with a guy called Kid Lycos. They sort of ran it together, but it used to be in a comedy club. Then it was in the back. Then we got kicked out of the comedy club because they caused too much mess. And then we ended up in the back of this pub called the Bread Shed in Manchester. And one night, out of the blue, Aussie Open just walked through the door and then wrestle and have a match. And we're like, holy shit, is Aussie Open. 2 weeks later, they're the New Japan tag champions. About a month later, they're the double champs. They're the AEW tag champions as well. No offense to Kyle's tag partner, but, you know, the best thing that happened for Kyle is to go solo. You know, he needed that. It reminds me a little bit of when I'm watching the Street Profits these days, and I'm thinking, damn, do you remember when Montez Ford, do you remember when Dawkins was out injured and Montez Ford had that really cool run, and they were really like, you know, you could really see what he could do as a single star. And like, now they're going to push him. And then Dawkins came back, and now we're just seeing the same boring Street Profits crap every week. And I just don't see an end to it. Like, I feared that was going to be the future for Kyle Fletcher. Thankfully not. And he's really sort of coming to his own. So yeah, haven't got enough praise about Kyle Fletcher. That guy is awesome. Right, moving on. The belt collector, the TBS Women's Champion, Mercedes Moné.
That's my girl.
She's in a tough situation. She's in a tough situation here, Mirah. She's in a four-way. You know, and not just any four-way. 3 women from three of the best organizations in the planet when it comes to women's wrestling. She's facing Alex Windsor, the Brit, who I think has been doing some great work since she joined AEW. Really happy for Alex Windsor. I've been watching her for years at indie shows, so it's great to see her getting her limelight. We've got Bozilla from Stardom, and we have Persephone from CMLL. What do we think? Do we think Mercedes Moné is losing that TBS championship? You know, she's got enough, right? She's got enough belts. She can afford to lose. She can afford to lose this.
Never enough
for sure.
CEO, okay, it's never enough.
She's not losing that belt. Come on now.
Nah.
How many belts she got now, Mirah?
It's 8. It's still 8 right now. I think she'll probably be adding more soon.
I believe on Friday she had the Rev Pro show in London, and I thought, oh, she's got a singles match, and it's a freaking title for title match.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn it, she's gonna collect another. And I was like, what the hell is this title? And it was I can't even remember what it was. Border Wrestling Scottish Women's Championship. And I was like, she really gonna walk around with that one as well? Like,
but the thing is, you have to see, like, you see what she's doing. Like, she's getting names to these other promotions. Other promotions we probably either would have never heard of over here in America, or we've never probably even watched. So yes, people are like, she has all these belts. Yeah, but she's bringing the belts onto the WTV every week. Yeah, that's something that people.
If she wins this Scottish Dollar, even I'm from the UK, and even I've not heard of this promotion. Right? And I go to indie shows. Like, even this could be like the freaking Welsh sheep throwing competition belt for all I know. Maybe while she's over here, she'll grab that one too. But like this is like. So yeah, if she turns up with that Scottish Women's Championship from this, and I'm sorry, to no disrespect to this independent wrestling company, I just haven't heard of you guys. If I lived in Scotland, I'm sure I would, a little bit further north. But yeah, so she could potentially be going in with 9, and I think we're all agreeing she's going to be coming out with 9, right?
I think she comes out with 9 because she's so close to beating Jade's record. She's at, I think it was 447 or 48 days as of today. And Jade was at 508 when she finally lost. So I think the plan is for her to beat Jade's record. I think the closer she gets to Jade's record, she will slowly drop the other belts so that she can focus on another task at hand.
A big one.
Yep. She in therapy right now. Tony scarred her.
Well, speaking of Tony, Timeless Tony Storm is going to be facing the ROH Women's Champion, Athena, who obviously we all know won the Casino Gauntlet to earn this shot at the title. Now, this is one I'm not quite decided on here. What do you guys thought? I'm a little bit 50-50 on this. What do you guys think?
I mean, Timeless Tony Storm is the best thing going in AEW.
Oh,
yes,
by a mile.
So you could take the belt off of her and it will not harm her one bit.
Nope.
But by the same token, I mean, Athena's been the champion of ROH for 1,000 days almost now, right? And I'm just sitting here like, what, one of them's got a bling, and I'm not entirely sure who. So I'm just going to say, watch for the shoe. I'm going to go with Timeless Tony Storm in this one.
Tony retains. Mirah, what do you reckon?
I don't know. I'm with you. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know what's going to happen. I'm at the point where I'm like, Tony's going to retain, right? But I'm also like, Athena has been working her ass off in ROH. She's been the forever ROH champion. She has a match with Mirah that following Friday, which I'll be in Philly attending for the ROH championship. So I'm like, I really don't know what's going to happen.
If they just set up this match like, okay, it's going to be the ROH champion against the AEW championship, because obviously it's Forbidden Door, which, by the way,
right.
kind of means nothing anymore. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
There are no forbidden doors included in this pay-per-view whatsoever. Nothing is forbidden anymore. And the majority of these people are AEW wrestlers, and even the ones that aren't have fight on AEW fairly regularly, right? So if they just kind of set this match up as just a bit of an ROH versus an AEW thing, I kind of think I would pick Tony. I think because the way that Athena got the shot of this title, because she won that casino gauntlet in order to get to this spot, that's what's kind of edging me over the line to pick Athena. I really don't know. I'm so undecided on this match, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Athena. Athena is my pick. Athena is gonna be the new AEW Women's Championship, and I look forward to seeing the very dramatic Tony Storm meltdown, cinematic, should I say, meltdown once that happens.
And even if they have like a back and forth like feud, it's going to be magic because Athena is so talented, and she wasn't utilized when she was in the WWE as Ember Moon. So she has so much to give.
Yeah.
That even if she does win and it's a back and forth with her and Tony, it's going to be magic. If any shenanigans happens, and let's say she doesn't win, either way, it's going to be magic. Either with her and Tony, her and Mina, her and Mercedes. Like there's so much opportunity for her. I'm still on the fence. I'm going to go with Tony, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, y'all.
It's going to be interesting. Okay, we got 2 matches left on this card. Let's start with the AEW Unified Championship. Oh my goodness me, I am looking forward to this match. Kazuchika Okada, the champion, the Unified Champion, versus Swerve Strickland. Man, this is going to be a tasty treat of a wrestling match. I cannot wait to be in attendance for this. But do we really see Swerve taking the gold away from Okada?
I would have said yes, but then I learned that Swerve's been wrestling with a torn meniscus since 2019 today. So I have to lean towards Kazuchika Okada in this match.
Well, if he's managed for 6 years with that torn meniscus, I don't think they're that worried about it. I've seen his head get exploded on concrete. So since then,
I think it's too early to take it off Okada. If there is a title change, that's awesome. I love Swerve, but I think it's not going to be at Forbidden Door. It's going to take a little bit while longer.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think, they've only recently sort of unified this championship. I think what they really need to do is build the championship, right? They need to build its sort of prestige a little bit, because it was kind of it was all a bit of a weird backstory of how these sort of belts sort of came together, those continental championships, etc. And the fact that you had Eddie Kingston winning them first doesn't help. When we're talking about prestige, but
shots fired.
Yeah.
So I feel that I think they're going to want to build the prestige of the championship. So I don't think a title change is going to do a lot for that at the moment. As much as Swerve deserves it, he deserves everything. He deserves the world. This guy is incredible. I just see Okada coming out on top, but this is, for me, going to be the match of the night for sure. Right, that takes us in to...
Nope, we got one more match.
We got one more? Mirah, what am I missing? What am I missing?
Adam Copeland, Christian Cage, Kid Sapien, and Killswitch.
Oh my goodness.
We got one more. Before we go to that main event.
How did I forget about Cope and Christian? Now, obviously, this match was originally supposed to be Cope and Christian against Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne. But apparently Nick Wayne is injured, and on Dynamite we saw the return of the dinosaur, Luchasaurus, or Killswitch, as they still insisting on calling him, to make things a little bit more interesting, because obviously we know there's a lot of history between Killswitch and Christian Cage. I'm not a huge fan of how they've kind of just flung this kind of Cope and Christian thing together. I think there was a lot more storytelling to be done before we just sort of had like, well, basically a half of nothing sort of in the ring, and then a 10-minute later announcement that they're back together in their wrestling because Tony Khan says so. There was a lot of storytelling that we're missing here.
Mhm.
But I'm not going to complain. I'm going to get to see Edge and Christian live wrestling again. I feel that this is going to be they're going to do this the rekindling of the friendship, of the relationship in the ring. It's in typical AEW fashion, so I don't see any sort of Christian swerves going on here. But yeah, what do we think for this match?
I think it'll be Cope and Christian. I think it'll be them coming out on top because, like we previously discussed, with FTR winning, I was there at Dynasty when they turned on Adam Copeland. So I think there's long term storytelling that'll be completed either at All Out or at a further pay per view for them. So I think that's the route they're going. I know that Copeland's contract isn't it like coming up on like expiry or something like that soon. So maybe they want to use him as much as possible.
Yeah.
Bring back Cope and Christian, let them ride out together. But I'm very curious to see the result of this match for the tag team division.
Yeah, and Mirah, just to piggyback off of that, you're making me want to change my pick in the tag title match to FTR now because Cope has an FTR problem and he needs Christian's help with it.
Yep.
And I figure FTR versus, I gotta call him Cope. I gotta really think hard to call him Cope here because I'm an edgehead. So, but Cope and Christian, as AEW tag team champions, that is like, it's been basically, we've been on a vision quest for that ever since Cope came to AEW in 2023. I will also say that, there's a lot of fan service to be done here. I don't see Killswitch and Chip Sabian beating them. Come on now, let's not get serious. Let's be serious here. I mean, we have a better chance of seeing a 5-second pose for flash photography than we do the Killswitch and Chip Sabian victory tour.
No, I think you're right. They could bring the Tyrannosaurus Rex from Jurassic Park and pair them up with Kip Sabian, and Edge and Christian are still Cope and Christian are still winning this match. They're gonna do the fan service for sure. Everybody's gonna want to see it, and I think you're right, Dorkchop. Edge has got a FTR problem, and that sets a fantastic feud up, and maybe one last run for one of the greatest tag teams to ever grace the wrestling ring. So, yeah, I don't know how I nearly missed that one, Mirah. Thank you for correcting me there. But that does take us to our main event, the AEW World Championship. Our new champion, crowned it all in, Hangman Adam Page versus MJF. Now, before Dynamite, we thought that Adam Page had very cleverly tricked MJF into utilizing his contract and signing it off, so it could be sort of a surprise. But MJF pulled some dirty tricks on Dynamite and has now managed to rescind the offer of that contract. So he's still going to have that shot available to him, even if he loses this match. Not only that, the title can change hands via countout or disqualification. So, is this MJF's time to shine back to the top of AEW, or will it still be Cowboy time?
See, they almost set Mark Briscoe on fire. And that kind of got me like, MJF is willing to do anything. And I think that's that willingness to do anything and then that powder keg temper that's going to cost it, because the rules apply to both of them. So the fact that you can lose on a disqualification is still going to, it's going to help Hangman in this case. And I think he's going to cause MJF to snap and do something to get himself disqualified.
Sounds about right. Mirah, what are you thinking?
I'm actually thinking something similar as Dork, but also in the reverse. Because if you were going to set a man on fire, he gonna take that plane. He gonna take the plane out to London, and when he already there, he's going to show up in that match somehow. Is he going to cause Hangman? Or because the disqualification, the belt can change hands. So I really don't know. I know a lot of people aren't really a fan of Adam Page having the belt, which I'm like, why not? Like, I like him having the belt. I don't really like mind him being champion, but I know when MJF is champion, he's super entertaining.
Yeah.
So I can see it going either way. I want Hangman to retain right now. I'd rather see another match with him and MJF and have him actually use the contract. But I truly believe that there's going to be some shenanigans. Either it's going to be an almost disqualification or some sort of thing where it's going to be like, no, don't do it because I'm going to lose the belt type of thing. So I think it'll be a lot of mind games during the match for sure.
Yeah.
But I think Hangman does walk out with the belt.
Yeah. I mean, I think before MJF managed to get the stipulation that he got his contract back, I was thinking, I know it's a bit soon, but I can see MJF leaving with this because if we've got the Hurt Syndicate potentially losing to FTR, we know the promise that they've made with regards to Bobby Lashley coming after MJF. If he gets that title, it kind of made sense for me for MJF to take that title and Bobby Lashley. Now that's been rescinded, we don't have to pull the trigger on that right away. So that does lean me towards an Adam Page win. It probably is a little bit early for him to win the title. He just had his Daniel Bryan moment, his Bryan Danielson moment, should I say. Speaking of Bryan Danielson, he's in the UK. He was on commentary.
You bring up an interesting point. He might be out there during that match. He might be out there during that match.
He's going to do something at this pay-per-view, right? There is no way we're not getting Bryan Danielson doing some kind of fighting at Forbidden Door, right? He's got to get involved.
It's going to be in the lights out.
Oh, God. Do we need more people in that?
No, please, no. He's going to stress Brie out. No, he don't need to be in that one. He needs like a good one spot, do a spot, and go win the back. That's what he needs. One good spot and go to the back.
Yeah. So for a bonus prediction point then, does Bryan Danielson get involved in the main event of Forbidden Door? Dorkchop, yes or no?
No.
Mirah?
Yes.
I'm going with yes too. I think you're right. I think he probably is. Either way, whatever happens, I think we are in for another treat. I believe the cutoff at the O2 is usually 11 p.m. So anybody that's worried about this show going on for 17 hours should not worry. That we are quite strict here in London, especially at the O2, because out the Docklands and you have to get the sort of a specific tube to get out back into the city, and they don't run very late. So they've got a pretty tight sort of cutoff with regards to time. So I think the kickoff time is 6 p.m. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's only 5 hours. So we got a pretty short AEW pay-per-view upcoming. I reckon they'll take the full 5 hours and whatever 2 hours, 0 hour they're doing.
I'm sorry, only 5?
I mean, at least you're getting your money's worth.
Well, you know you're getting your money's worth with an AEW pay-per-view. But yeah, I can see this going the full 5 hours for sure. It is going to be a hell of a show. I will hopefully do some reporting when I get back. I'll do a little shout as well. The night before, we're going to Pro Wrestling Eve, which for any of our listeners, if you're not familiar with Pro Wrestling Eve, that is a leading women's UK promotion. They are absolutely fantastic. They put on a hell of a show. It's like a like a wrestling show meets a punk rock show meets burlesque. There's going to be some AEW talent there. So Julia Hart's going to be there. Sky Blue's going to be wrestling. I've just seen that Queen Amanita's going to be wrestling there too. That, along with all the other incredible UK women's wrestlers, the likes of Rio, people like that, it is going to be super, super good fun. Myself, Cookies, Pig, Zane, we're all going that show the night before, so we're going to have fun there. And then we're all going to Forbidden Door the next night as well. So going to be an awesome weekend. And then if we're not too tired, maybe we will watch NXT Heatwave, which I guess will be starting pretty much immediately after Forbidden Door. So maybe we will come with an episode after NXT Heatwave. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. I don't think we'll discuss that today. Any thoughts you want to leave us with today on today's episode, guys? Anything else leading into the weekend you're looking forward to?
Forbidden Door start time for those on the East Coast is 1 p.m., 10 a.m. Pacific time. Have your brunch and breakfast ready, everyone, and then you're going to go right into lunch afterwards for Heatwave. So, no, I'm very excited for this weekend. I know this pay-per-view for AEW is going to be insane. I know Heatwave is going to be equally as good as well. It's just a weekend of wrestling. I love when it's like a back-to-back like this. It just makes it so much fun.
It does.
It's a win for wrestling fans all around.
Yep.
You know, no matter who you support.
Yep.
100%. And it's going to be the first time I've seen AEW in an arena. So I'm really looking forward to that because I've only seen AEW twice before. And that was an All in Wembley 1 and All in Wembley 2. So it's going to be great to see in a sort of arena vibe. Having said that, I am also very much looking forward to All In returning to Wembley Stadium next year. Mirah, I hope you're going to join us for that one.
I mean, I was there last year. It was a great time. I'm trying to get back there. I would love to go to All In next year.
Dorkchop, can we tempt you with a little UK trip over the pond?
It's fun.
You know, I'm in the process of getting my passport now, so you might be able to tempt me.
Sounds good. I know there's a lot of talk over in the Discord about us few people making a trip over for All In. That would be super cool. We've obviously got our WrestleMania meetups, but to have an All-In meetup in the UK would be super, super cool. So, look forward to the planning of that for All In for next year. That's us for this episode of Pinfalls and Passports. Hope you've enjoyed it. Guys, we hope you have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the wrestling, enjoy the graps, and whatever else you're up to. Stay safe, guys. We'll catch you all soon.
Bye.
Peace.